Well, again, welcome to Tuesday. It's a good one. Beautiful day, and I hope it's one you get to enjoy in a really, really nice way. Yeah, enjoy it. Get outside. Well, at least around here. It's, I don't know how it is where you are. Anyway, glad you're with me today. Thanks for joining me. And like I always say, come on into my little world for a moment. You know, we're coming on that time of year where we reflect. Thanksgiving is just about on the table. Well, really, it is on the table. Not the food, not the dinner. I didn't say Thanksgiving dinner. It's just Thanksgiving. We're reminded of the blessings in life. And you know, it seems to me that we spend a lot of time thinking about what could have been, might have been, if we'd made another choice. Seems like there's been a lot of that lately in some of the media and different choices you could have made, movies, books, television shows, things like that have brought out that idea. If you'd made a different choice, what if you'd made a different choice in life? And I guess we've all thought about that along the way. If I just done this, made this choice, if I hadn't done that, and that's true. One choice can make a difference in your life, take you in a totally different direction, and that's all well and good. But it's really a waste of time to sit and contemplate what might have been. I mean, maybe a flight of fancy, but if it begins to wear on us, or we begin to think, man, what I've missed out on, and oh, how pitiful my life is. If only I had done so and so, just how wonderful my life would have been. I think about that a lot. Not that I want that, but kind of like the Apostle Paul talking about contentment. If you get your food and clothing, be content. And so there's an interesting thought that comes to mind to me. I was thinking about some of the words in Ecclesiastes. Let me read just a few of them for you and tell you what I'm thinking about. It's in Ecclesiastes chapter 9. You can pick up in verse 9. It's within the context of what he's saying. He says, live joyfully with the wife who you love all the days of your life, which he has given you under the sun, all your days of vanity, for that is your portion in life. Now, think about that. That is your portion in life, and in the labor which you perform under the sun. And then he goes into verse 10. Whatever your hand finds to do it with your might. I don't really think we need to read anymore. It talks about because, after life's over, you don't work anymore. But that whole idea that's in there of recognizing where you are, what you've got, and being glad for what you have. Have you ever thought about how important that really is? And so I was thinking about something in terms of the old character actor Dabbs Greer. Died several years ago, but played a lot of roles in television and movies over the years, and then I probably best know him for the few times I happened to watch the program, and I saw him in the program, and you may know that, on Little House on the Prairie. He played the preacher, the Reverend Robert Alden, on that television program. Now, I've never been very fond of the display of preachers on television. I don't think they're very accurate in a lot of regard. Maybe they are more than I know. If I ever get to be a preacher, I'll try and figure that out. But there was something in one scene, just one scene, and I've shared this with some of you, as you know. There was something in one scene that really caught my attention. For where he was talking to another character in the show, and he talked about how when he was a young man coming out of the seminary, the training that he was receiving, and thinking and imagining how he would speak in these great church buildings, great stained glass windows and beautiful buildings and large crowds and all of that. And kind of that, if you really recognize it, kind of that self-important aspect. But he thought about, that was where my lot was going to be. And he said, but as time moved on, I found myself out working. And I was traveling from little church to little church, groups that were meeting in schoolhouses and no meeting place at all. And he said, and the days went by and the years went by, and he said, then one day I realized I was never going to be in the great cathedrals. I was never going to be in those great buildings, not as the preacher. I was never going to have the large crowds. But what he did say, and this is what got me, he says, then I realized how valuable I was to the small groups of people with whom I was able to interact. Those weren't his exact words, but that's pretty close to it. It's been a few years since I've seen it, so I may not have gotten the quote right, but I think that was pretty much what the writers put into his part. And I know it was just a character on a television program, and I know it was just some writers writing it, but that one got me. That one got me. Maybe because of sharing a similarity of occupation, if you want to say. But then I thought, how many of us have longed to have had that great exposure, that great recognition, that great acknowledgement in life, to find that we live our lives in fairly small, contained environments, known only to a few, relatively. So that when we've lived and when we've died, there'll be a few to mourn at our grave of families who love us. But does that make our lives small? I don't think so at all. And I think that's what the message that I draw out of Ecclesiastes says. Take advantage of what you have. Recognize the blessings that are around you every day. And whether your circle of influence is large, and some of you may have a world impact, some of you may be in politics, some of you may affect great numbers of people in your lives, or maybe they'll just be that tiny handful. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you recognize where your blessings are. I've often thought, if there's no one else to mourn or miss me at my passing than just those few children that grew up around me, my own, maybe some grandkids, that miss me and cry for just a little while. If I've been loved by a few, it's good enough for me. I like that. I've got friends that long, as preachers, they long for large crowds, and the recognition appears in a big way. And I think any of us have to admit, we like adulation. Even if we're a bit shy, we like the adulation, we like the notice, we like to be praised for what we've done. But I hope I'm growing more and more to recognize I'm thankful for just the opportunity. And so Thanksgiving comes back into mind. Thankful for the opportunity to have some people, no matter how big or how small. You know, week in and week out, I get to share the lives of a group of people, some more than others. And I've got to say, with all joking aside, for we often joke about what a problem people are, but all joking aside, to be able to share our lives, no matter how many or how few we are, is one of the greatest blessings for which we can give thanks. Whatever your hand finds to do. In other words, wherever you find yourself, don't sit there thinking about what else is out there beyond. But maybe as you sit at that Thanksgiving table this year, and you're pausing to reflect on the things that are important to you and the blessings that have come your way, maybe we need to hone down the list a little bit and focus. Focus on the circle that is immediately around us. How blessed we really are. I guess you can see where my mind is right now. It is that time of Thanksgiving. It is on the table. Not literally in terms of the food, but you know what I mean. It's upon us. And it is a good day for giving thanks for whatever our little world might be. Thanks for coming into my little world for a while. Glad you were with me today. And I hope it's an encouragement to you as you think about your life and give it your very best, whatever your hand finds to do among those around you. Love those who are near to you. And hey, we'll share a few more things a little further down the road. And gotta say, we're mighty blessed. I'll see you later.